Caitlin Schumann, and I am a freshman here at Utah State studying agriculture education. Today I will be discussing the agriculture education program and if it's worth it or not. The objectives of this presentation are to give you a background of agriculture education, address the problems, propose 3 solutions, and address counter-arguments to hopefully convince you that agriculture education is worth it. There are 3 main things that have happened to get agriculture education where it is today. The Morrill Act of 1862 was a grant to establish land-grant colleges. This was when President Abraham Lincoln signed the land grant to have public land to fund institutions of higher education focused on 2 main departments, agriculture and mechanical arts. Utah State is one of the 106 land-grant colleges. Another thing that has happened was the Smith-Hughes Act of 1917, and this was when there was federal funding for high school agriculture programs, home economics, and trades, but it mainly funded agriculture education. This was also start to the SAE program, which is a supervised agriculture experience. This led to something known as FFA. FFA is also known as the Future Farmers of America. FFA came about in 1928. You might be wondering what agriculture education does. Well, it has 2 main things, which are to prepare students for successful careers and help students have a knowledge of the agriculture world. These are both important to know. Now, you're probably wondering what this has to do with Utah State students. We're about to discuss the problem that USU students are facing. Cutting the agriculture program as a whole has become a scary topic for a lot of Utah State students. Utah State is an agriculture school. Here in Utah, it wouldn't be fair to get rid of the agriculture education program because without it, our agriculture department would be gone. This would affect all of the students at USU that are taking an ag class currently. I know lots of kids that aren't even going into an ag major, but they are taking an ag class as a general class. So if the agriculture education program got cut, lots of people wouldn't be able to get the generals that they need to get their degree. The budget cutting that has happened at Utah State has become intense. Some of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head are the College of Ag and Natural Resources combining and the agriculture communications program getting cut. These cuts have affected the agriculture education program because the college has less money since combining, and people have lost jobs that have studied in agriculture education and taught these classes at Utah State. The lack of interest in the agriculture education department has become less and less each year. A lot of students here at Utah State are scared to go into agriculture education because they're all worried that once they graduate, there won't be a need for teachers. Agriculture education isn't going anywhere, and it is actually growing, especially here in Utah. Utah's top production is agriculture. The program is constantly growing, so Utah State students shouldn't be stressing that they won't have an opportunity to get a job once they graduate. This degree is also expensive to do. The classes that you have to take are not only the teaching classes, but also all of the other agriculture classes. It's hard to want to go into this agriculture education when there are much cheaper degrees. I've come up with 3 solutions, with the first one being Utah State applying for STEM and CTE grants. The one that I'm going to focus on is the STEM Action Center, or state STEM grants for equipment, teacher professional development, student programs, and labs. These are just a few examples that the university could have if they applied for this grant. As a student at Utah State, it's hard to live in the world because of how expensive things are. Students apply for scholarships all the time, and I think that if the university applied for grants like this and got involved more with the CTE and STEM programs, that it would help with budget cutting. The second solution is having a Utah scholarship for agriculture education students. In the state of Utah, there aren't very many scholarships that go towards the agriculture education path. I think that a solution they could have to getting more interest in this program is to provide a couple scholarships to give to students that are going into this amazing program. I have done lots of scholarships and interviews to get to this amazing college. If there was a scholarship for the agriculture education program, I would have applied for it. And I believe that so many more people would have the interest to go into agriculture education and to help fill the need for ag teachers if this scholarship was available. I think that Utah State should offer an agriculture misconception class. Agriculture education gets looked down on a lot, and I think that to help agriculture out and to lay the misconceptions to rest is to provide a misconception class at Utah State to help students actually be educated before making an opinion on agriculture. There are many misconceptions about everything, but there are so many that get blown out of proportion in the agriculture industry. People need to realize that without agriculture, we wouldn't be able to live. So I think that we should have a class at USU to put these misconceptions to rest. 2 main counter-arguments are that agriculture education doesn't apply to everyone and it costs too much money. People say that agriculture education only applies to country kids and people that have grown up on farms. The people in the city don't need these programs because it is irrelevant and doesn't apply to them. But in reality, agriculture applies to everyone because everyone eats food. The people that say agriculture education is irrelevant to them are the people that need it most. Now, the second one is it costs too much. People say that agriculture education costs too much because of FFA and all the trips that you can go on. But in reality, the programs don't pay for the trips. I get to go and compete at FFA Nationals at the end of October, and I am excited. The FFA doesn't pay for my trip. I pay for my trip. A lot of people think that budgeting goes into the trips for FFA, but the budget doesn't cover trips. It goes into classroom labs, which are necessary for science classes. Here at the college, there are opportunities to go out on trips. Since I'm a freshman, I haven't had the opportunity to go on these trips yet, but I'm excited to go on trips when I get the opportunity. At the college level, I talked to a member of the Animal Science Club, and he said that they get some money donated for their trips, but the person going on the trip has to pay for the trip. I'm a freshman at Utah State University studying agriculture education. I've participated in FFA and all the ag classes at Skyview High School. I've grown up in the agriculture world through living on a farm and through raising my show animals. To end, agriculture education is so important and so worth it. I hope you all will agree with me that we shouldn't have budget cuts or cut the program in general, and that it should get more interest. I'm passionate about agriculture and especially the agriculture education program, and you should be too, because it is so worth it. And here's why we're excited.